everybody, here we are. The beginning of the summer movie season has just arrived. Even though that we went ahead and had last week The Devil Wears Product 2, I still haven't watched it just yet. I'm not really excited to go into watching it, but there were other priorities that kept me from going to watching it. So I promise I'll go and watch it, but highly unlikely I'll be doing a review off of it. But fingers crossed, let's see what happens. Hi everybody, I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking the time of your day to watching another episode of Awesome Joe's Movie Reviews. And before we talk about this new movie that's out in theaters right now, one of the big blockbusters of this summer, I just want to wish all of the mothers out there who are watching a very happy Mother's Day to you and to your mothers and to all other mothers who are out there, a part of your family or friends. So I hope you guys enjoy your special Mother's Day. You guys deserve it. And I hope that you guys have a lot of fun. So here we go, everybody. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 2. All right. So all I got to say is when we were about to start this, let's do this. It's showtime. All right. Fight! All right, everybody. So, just to point out real quick, yes, I was a 90s kid. Yes, I did play video games. Not highly like how most people do nowadays, but I will admit, the only games that I ever did play, and probably will still play to this day, are like Pac-Man, Tetris, all the old school stuff. Super Mario, the originals, not anything that's modern day. And of course, stuff like fighting games like Street Fighter and none other than Mortal Kombat. Which brings me to this movie, because I did watch and favor the movies back in the 90s. Of course, everybody always favors the first film. I get it. It's a really awesome film. And then when Annihilation came out a couple of years later, I'll admit, yes, it is a terrible movie. It is a terrible movie. But I still enjoyed it. I had a great time. It was fun for me. I remember going to it when I was a kid, and I didn't hate it as much as how everybody else looked at it as. You had a lot of problems with movies back then for people not really liking, the next chapter to their series. Like Batman and Robin, and of course Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So we were hoping that this would not be the same streak, because when we got the first modern day Mortal Kombat movie back in 2021, which is of course around COVID time, it did beat records though. Even though it went to theaters, the majority of people did go and watch it, mostly, and including myself, on HBO Max. And it got high viewings that day when it was released. Everybody wanted to watch it. Everybody wanted to see what is a modern day version of Mortal Kombat. So we got it. How was it? It wasn't that good. It really wasn't that good, The first Mortal Kombat movie in 2021, everybody, including myself, my opinion was, it looked interesting, it looked fun, but it was just way too serious. Way too serious. It didn't feel like it was part of something of a massive world, nothing, there were no stakes, there was nothing. And also, one of many people's complaints were, there's no combat in this. There's no tournament. We got people fighting, but what is the the whole point of Mortal Kombat? It's called combat, so you got to have a tournament. There was no tournament, so that really upset a lot of people, and that was actually one of my reactions after when the first film ended. Is so where's the combat at? I mean, it's kind of like the same feeling I had when I watched the first Lord of the Rings movie. The Fellowship of the Ring. Brilliant, fantastic, beautiful movie. But I remember my reaction at the end is, that's it? He's not going to go, we're not going to see him end his journey and, drop the ring into the fire of the volcano in Mordor. It's like nothing happened. But no, of course, it was a trilogy. I didn't know that at the time. But here it's like, yes, I get that they're opening they're opening doors for sequels, since there's more to the story other than just having it in just one film. I get it. Uh, but you had to have some combat stuff going on in there, man. So I was, that was a disappointment for me. So here we are, Mortal Kombat 2. People are gonna go and watch it not because of the first film being good. It's because we know now that this one has its focus on the tournament. So that's what everybody wanted to go and see, and that's what it was. The tournament stuff was fantastic, was brilliant. I loved it so much. It really felt like a cinematic version of the video game itself. You have the really great sceneries to where they fight that is clearly off of the video games, and then I mean when they fight, the choreography is just phenomenal. It really felt like as if you had the like if you had the controller and you were doing the moves as these characters fought each other. So I loved it. It was a great time. And then one of the other complaints about the first film was that we were getting an original character that was going to be a character for the Mortal Kombat franchise. My thoughts on that was that's a bad idea. That is a bad idea. Stay away from that. But they did it, and they were even saying that if this character was popular enough, they would have added him into the video games. Thank goodness that didn't happen. Man. And so this movie, it doesn't linger on that character anymore. It puts more of the focus now on a more popular character that everybody was very fond of. I think that this movie should have been the first chapter rather than being Mortal Kombat 2, which, by the way, I gotta also clarify that I think that the title Mortal Kombat 2 is not really a good title for me. I mean, it's more now to where okay, I'll just have to get used to it. But I thought it would have been really cool if they called it Mortal Kombat Round 2. That would have been great. But the problem is that there really was never a round 1. So, but, it would have been a really cool title to use, Mortal Kombat Round 2. That would have been great. But it is what it is, guys. So now we got the story now focused on a newcomer, Johnny Cage. We all know who Johnny Cage is. And I mean, he's a very favorable character in the Mortal Kombat world. And one of the biggest flaws that we had when they announced who was going to be playing him, because it was a huge mystery as to who it was going to be, because at the ending of the first film, we see a poster of Johnny Cage, but we don't see his face. So the big question mark was, who was going to play him? So when they announced it, oh my goodness, Carl Urban. I'm like, really, Carl Urban? I mean, I'm gonna trust you guys on this, but he's more of an older, washed-up actor, And it's like, okay, I get it. So you're kind of doing like the Ben Affleck Batman here, He's already established, but he's just trying to find, he's trying to rediscover himself in this movie. Being at the very bottom, finding himself in a whole other direction to reach up to the top again. So I kind of got what they were trying to do there, but I was very iffy about that casting choice. But then when I saw his performance in this movie, I thought, that's brilliant. That is so brilliant. I loved his performance in this movie. Fantastic. I love how he is very comedic in this, and there's a lot of laughs that he does, but the way that he fights, man, that was just amazing. I loved that fight. So we all know Carl Urban from all of his other projects in the past. Like The Lord of the Rings, The Chronicles of Riddick, recently with the Boys on Amazon, Dread, Star Trek movies, with Chris Pine, that another video game, Doom, and Thor Ragnarok. So he's been in a lot of stuff. So we all know who Carl Urban is. He's pretty much, with his acting skills, put himself on the map. So whenever you hear Carl Urban, man, this dude's gonna rock. So. But the thing is that even though they put a lot of the marketing of this movie focusing on this Johnny Cage's character, when you go and watch the movie, it's really no spoiler here, but they actually put more focus on another individual character that actually makes a lot of sense for a story such as this, which is Kitana, which is played by Adeline Rudolph. And I'm not familiar with any of her work, but she has appeared in other different other projects like Do Not Enter, Hellboy, The Crooked Boy, and the Resident Evil show on Netflix back in 2022. And I loved her performance. I think that I actually favored her more in this movie than I did with the Johnny Cage character. I love Johnny Cage, don't get me wrong, but I actually was fond of Kitana's storyline a lot more. It felt more interesting, it felt more depth, and I loved her fighting. Her fighting was phenomenal. That is Kitana right there. I still love Talia Soto's Kitana back in the 90s Mortal Kombat movies. And I even looked her up to see how she's doing nowadays. And you know, she still looks the same back in the 90s. So if they were to have casted her to reprise her role as Kitana, I think she could have pulled it off. But no, I think that Adeline Rudolph, her portrayal of Kitana was just spot on perfect. I loved every single second of her performance in this movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in future installments to this franchise. Returning back, we got Jessica McNamee, which is playing Sonya Blade. I hear a lot of gossips about how much they didn't think that was a really great casting. I wasn't familiar with her either, but she did look familiar though. So I looked it up and I found out, she's in the movie The Meg, she's in The Vow, and she's in that 2017 movie of Chips. So she's got some work out there, and I think that she did great as Sonya Blade. I still linger on more Bridget Wilson back in '95. Another for her performance. I mean, it would have been great to see her come back, but she's retired from the acting world. But yeah, I think that McNamee did a really great job as Sonya Blade. I think I like her more in this one, in Mortal Kombat 2, than I did in Mortal Kombat 1. So I think that was a really brilliant performance, and I love the way that she uses her powers. It's just fantastic. She does have a fight scene against one of the individuals during the tournament, and she really kicks butt, man. She really kicks butt, and it was a great scene. So the main baddie of this movie is very shown on the marketing that it's going to be Shao Kahn, man. This one is played by Martin Ford, and I don't really know him in other things either, but he has appeared in last year's Red Sonja, F9 from the Fast and Furious movies, and Kingsman. So I'm not really familiar with those movies. You know, I have seen F9 before, but I've only seen it once enough to care not to even watch it again. But yeah, dude, Shao Kahn in this movie, man, he is scary. He is scary. Once when he approaches the screen, you're just like, yeah, whoever's fighting this dude, man, you're dead. You don't even fight him, man. Just kill yourself. There is no chance that you're gonna beat this dude. And his powers, I mean, he does his powers in this movie, and I'm just like, dude, I was like, no way! All the characters, when they use their powers, I was like, what? I know those moves. But when he does that, it's like, you know, in the video game, the way that his tactics are is that he's fighting you, and you're fighting him, and you think that you're winning because you keep on hitting him, you know, his life level is going down. But once when it gets to close to that very bottom, that's when he attacks. He gets at you, he gives you his all, and just right away in a split second, boom, you're dead. It's like, whoa. And this dude, he kills, man. He kills. Like, he is a very scary. This is the kind of Shao Kahn that I wanted in Annihilation. That's one of the things I did not like about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, was the Shao Kahn in that movie. He was Daddy's little boy. I'm like, what? You're the Emperor and you're just Daddy's little boy? It's like, no, I want you to be the tough go-getter here, man. I want you to be the conqueror. I want you to be the biggest bad guy that cinema has ever seen. And I think that when it comes to a character like this, Shao Kahn, he's really brutal, man. He's like hardcore big bad guy, like the definition of what bad guy is. So it was great getting to see him and hear it. He did fantastically well. I didn't like the imagery of him when they first announced what he would look like in the movie. For me, I'm like thinking he looks like a samurai Terminator. That's what he looked like. I didn't like it. But no, I take it back. When I see it in the movie, I'm just like, dude, that looks great. That looks so good. But yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, Cole Young is no longer the lead of this movie. He is in this movie. Louis Tan playing the character. He does come back, but his screen time is very limited. We get very little dialogue from him as well too. He has appeared in Cobra Kai, Deadpool 2, and Fistful of Vengeance. But they really shifted everything when it comes to this character. They're letting us know that, listen, we heard you guys, we're listening, and we're going to correct it. And that's what they did. So, and like I said, I'm not going to give away anything. I want you guys to really go out there and check it out for yourselves, because I think that this movie is so great that I've seen a lot of movies this year, and not once have I ever repeated myself watching it again and again. This one, however, I actually liked it a lot, to where I've already watched it not once, not twice, but actually 3 times. Like, I had a great blast. This is the purest definition of what a Mortal Kombat movie should be. It did a fantastic job. And we have a character that came in unexpectedly that I didn't even know about, but when he showed up, I already knew who this guy was. Quan Chi. I'm like, I've been waiting to see this guy in a Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to see him. Played by Damon Harriman, that has popped up in other projects like Together, House of Wax, and J. Edgar. And so when he showed up, man, I was like, dude, I've been waiting for this guy, and I loved him. And he's a necromancer which is of course someone who brings people back from the dead. So what does that mean? We're bringing back characters who had died in the previous film back into this movie. So for example, like Bihan, which is Sub-Zero, of course, but he doesn't come back as Sub-Zero. He's more of another character called Noob Saibot. And that's, of course, the returning actor who played Sub-Zero, Johannes Taslium. And he's popped up in The Furiouses, and The Night Comes for Us, Swordsman, Fast 6, and Star Trek Beyond. And they say that he's not really that character that comes to being that other character, but it was still great getting to see him. I think that with him being in this, it actually gives more of the Scorpion character more meaning to being in a part of this movie, since Scorpion is, located in hell. But you can't really have a Mortal Kombat movie without Sub-Zero or Scorpion, because they are pretty much the faces of Mortal Kombat. But I think that this movie, as much as I loved seeing Scorpion coming back into this, it was, I think that all the characters in this movie, they had enough screen time. I think that within their each individual character with their amount of screen time that they had in this movie, I think it was just a perfect amount. Perfect amount. We get to see each and every individual character with their performances of what they do, and once when they're done, that's it. They're done. We don't really need any more than what we got. But yeah, we do bring back Bihan, and then we also bring back where is it here? I'm looking here because it's kind of hard to read my notes when I have these sunglasses on. I had complications with that in my last video with Michael, because I had another pair of sunglasses that I had on for that. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take these off, so that way I can have a better, clearer vision of my notes here and get along with the rest of this review here. But yeah, we brought back Bihan, and then we also brought back where is he? Kung Lao. Kung Lao comes back, which is great. He's in the marketing, and returning back Max Huang. He was also in No Way Out, Kingsman, Secret Service, and Hidden Strike. Once when he died in the first film, the way that he died with the fatality, I thought that was just wow. That was, fantastic. You can't even have a Mortal Kombat movie without it being rated R, man. I know the movies in the 90s, those were PG-13, but if you want to have those fatalities in there, because in the video games, there's a lot of bloodshed, there's a lot of gore, and you can't really have that in a Mortal Kombat movie within your modern day without having it being a rated R movie. So PG-13, if they want to be on the safe side, it probably the movies wouldn't be that good, it would probably lose its value in the modern Mortal Kombat franchise. So it was great getting to seeing him come back. He has a very minimum amount of screen time in this, as he did in the as much as he did in the first film. But it was still great getting to see him. The fight that he has with Liu Kang, which is, of course, returning back Ludi Lin, which is, of course, he's in my favorite movie of 2017, Power Rangers. He's in Aquaman and in Black Mirror. There's a fight scene between these two, man, and it's in that blue portal scene there. I mean, just that fight was probably the biggest, best fight in this movie. The choreography was just phenomenal. A great, great time. Just seeing those two fight, it was literally like watching the video game. So it was great. But yes, and you know what? And a lot of focus on the Liu Kang character. I felt more for him in this movie than I did in the last one. All I can keep on thinking is that, you know, I miss Robin Shou. I miss Robin Shou, man. It's like I want Robin Shou back as Liu Kang. But no, I think that Ludi Lin in this movie, I loved him as Liu Kang in this. So he was great. And also from what I said about Quan Chi's character, bringing back people from the dead, there's also Josh Lawson coming back as Kano. He died in the first film, but they brought him back because they wanted a reason to bring this one back, because he was actually one of the great things about the first movie back in 2021. I think that Josh Lawson did a fantastic job with the Kano character. He's very comedic. I loved him in the first film. I loved him in this one. He does really good. His screen time as well is very minimized compared to the last movie, but he's popped up in other projects like Little Death, St. Dennis Medical, and Superstore. But him being in this, man, he's just, the only thing that I have a problem with is that where's the Terminator mask? Because I want him to wear it. I want him to have that. It was a great opportunity since he lost his eye in the first movie, that when he was brought back to life, he's like, can I get something to replace my eye? And they give him that metal plate with the red eye on there. It's like, that's perfect. I think that would have been a perfect selection, but no, they went ahead and just gave him. Quan Chi just made him a new eye and said, here you go, good as new. They pretty much did what they did with Thor. When they cut out his eye, he had an eye patch. Now he takes off the eye patch and puts in a replacement eyeball. So, I guess if that's the direction that we always take, sure, why not? But yeah, it was great getting to see these guys back. I have a big flaw when it comes to these kind of movies, that if you kill a character off, just kill them off. Don't bring them back. Don't find some silly excuse. But I get when it comes to them bringing in the Quan Chi character, those favorable characters, giving it some depth of when they get killed off or something. It's like, okay, we have this guy. Let's go ahead and bring back some of the favorable ones. Let's have ourselves another round of these guys coming in on another match against another Mortal Kombat character. Jade, played by Tati Gabrielle. She was in Uncharted, Last of Us, The 100, You, and Owl House. She's very much like a sister / best friend to Kitana, and she trained her to being a fighter in the Mortal Kombat tournament. And I think that she was great in this. There's not really much to say about her character, but I did like her a lot, and I hope that we get more of a good story arc on her in the next movie. Sindel, I completely forgot she was in this movie, played by Anna Thu. Excuse my pronunciation, but Gayen, who was in Spy Who Never Dies, Suka, and Primitive War. I didn't know that she was in this. There's a little story arc that's at the beginning of the film explaining as to how is it that Shao Kahn had conquered another realm, Kitana's realm, and how they lost to Mortal Kombat. And, it just gives you more of some idea as to what would happen to Earth realm if we were in that same position as Kitana's realm. So it's understandable. And, you get it's kind of like a Thanos and Gamora storyline when it comes to Shao Kahn and and Kitana. So it's that whole thing with the father of that, killing off her people or whatever, whatnot, and claiming her as his own daughter. It's all Thanos and Gamora there. But I was okay with it. I didn't have a problem with it. But it was fun. But Sindel, however, I forgot she was in this. I'm just like, okay, you kill off the dad for Kitana, but then the mom, she comes in and she's trying to fight as well. And I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna get killed off too. Like, oh no, she's still alive. And I'm just like thinking, okay. But then when she comes back, I'm like, oh, that's Sindel. Duh, I completely forgot that she was Sindel. So how could I have been so brain dead for that to be happening? But no, it was great getting to seeing her. She's probably has the least performance in this movie, the very least. She's in it and then she's not. That's it. She does have a fight against another individual, and she does have her power with the scream. She screams out so many times. Am I thinking, is she gonna do the hair thing? Is she gonna go, with her hair? I'm like, that didn't happen. That was a disappointment for me. It's like thinking, you should have done that. But I think that Quan Chi brings her back as well too, so she's still alive. They didn't really do anything with her after when bringing her back to life, so I don't know why they did that. But maybe they'll put some more lineage to that in the next movie if they were to do so. But of course, Raiden comes back. Tadanobu Asano. Excuse me again. He I didn't even think about him as to where I've seen him before in the past, but I found out that, yeah, he's in Shogun, 47 Ronin, Battleship, and Thor. And I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's where I've seen him from. I didn't like his, outfit in the first film, but they really gave him an upgrade to look very much like the video game, and I loved it. It was so cool. So cool that even Johnny Cage, when he first meets him, he's like, he thinks he's like a cosplay dresser, and he tells him, like, he throws in a Big Trouble in Little China reference to him. He thinks that he's one of those characters, and I'm like, how interesting, because I remember when I was a kid and I watched that movie, and I'm like thinking, like, this is a Raiden ripoff. So I love that he did that. He's like, what are you, Big Trouble in Little China? And I'm just like, just laughing. It was fun. You do get a lot of references to other movies that made me laugh. There's a lot of Pennywise references, Voldemort, like I said, Big Trouble in Little China, Gandalf, Dumbledore. I'm just like, oh my god, man. And it's just funny because I'm like, yeah, I can actually understand why you would say those things. But no, it was fun. It was a great fun time. Baraka. Oh, Baraka is in this, man. And that's another thing I hated about Annihilation, was that when Baraka showed up, and that he just shows up like nothing. And he fights Liu Kang and then gets killed off. And I'm just like, so what was the point of your character then? But they do give some character to this one. I love the way that he fights. He has some comedic performances in this, and I actually liked it. It made me laugh. It was a really cool direction to take on him, and I'm so excited to getting to seeing what he can do in future films. Man, he was a really standout character. I really did like it a lot. And I do love the look of it as well too. Very much more better than the '97 Annihilation movie. But yeah, my favorite, of course, is Hanzo, which is, of course, the returning actor Hiroyuki Sanada. Man, this dude. When I heard that he was in the first Mortal Kombat movie, I'm just like, yay, awesome, fantastic, so excited, so much fun, being Scorpion again. He was in Shogun, Last Samurai, one of my favorite movies, 47 Ronin, John Wick 4, Rush Hour 3, Wolverine, Life, Avengers Endgame, and Lost. So whenever I see this guy, I'm just like, I'm all in, man. This is so fun, so fantastic. I'm so excited. But yeah. Shang Tsung is back as well, along with as played by Chin Han. We know him from Skyscraper, Ghost Shell, Independence Day 2, 2012, Dark Knight. It's just all these. The movie is just jam packed full of characters, and you think that usually with those kind of characters, you're thinking, okay, it's just gonna be too confusing, too crowded. No, I think that everybody had a good amount of screen time. Mehcad Brooks playing Jax comes back as well. His time was very minimized as well too. But yeah, just so many things happening in this. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in the next movie, because there's so many other characters that need to be introduced. Like, say for example, Montaro, Shiva, Smoke, Cyrex, Striker. Striker is the one I actually really want to see. Sector, Nightwolf, and Kwai Liang, which is the good brother of Sub-Zero. So that would be great to seeing all these guys in the next movie. And I'm pretty sure off of that list, I can very much say that one of those is going to be in the next movie. I'm very much looking forward to seeing them make their debut in the third movie. But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes the other day, it was like a 73%, which I think is a really great percentage. But right now, when I'm looking at it, it says 65%. So the ratings went down a notch. There are going to be some mixed reviews. If you're like a hardcore critic, you're probably not going to like this. But if you're just there to be because you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you want to see these guys fight, you want to see the fighting moves, the powers, you're going to love this movie. It's fun. It's a great summer blockbuster flick. I really recommend you guys to go and watching it. And when you do watch it, I think that you guys are, you're not going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys. But for me, however, I want to go ahead and give Mortal Kombat 2 2026 a 90%. So that is my rating for Mortal Kombat 2. Like, I think this movie is just great. My review for this is a little longer than expected. I wanna just lay everything out and let you guys know what I think about the movie. I wish my videos were between 5 to 10 minutes long, but I'm so sorry that these videos last a little longer than usual. But I had a lot of fun with this. I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do. They're already working on a third movie, so. One of the disappointing things about this movie, I would have to say, is that I was kind of hoping that they would get into the habit of keeping with the tradition, starting the movie off with Mortal Kombat with a theme going on, and I was like how they did in the 90s. Because when that happened, remember watching those in theaters, I was like so excited, like so pumped. I'm like, let's do this. But they didn't do that. They give you the logos, in Mortal Kombat 2 arcade video game format, and I thought that was amazing. That was really cool, but I still wanted the Mortal Kombat. So it would have been fun. But yeah, that's my review, everybody, for Mortal Kombat 2 Showtime. What did you guys think? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section at the bottom. Let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you'd like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos on YouTube. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. Don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button there, you guys. I really do appreciate everybody in having to take in the time to supporting my channel. And also click on the notification bell for future videos. Once they are posted, you guys will be notified. But anyways, you guys, I'm Awesome Joe. Keep on living the dream. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks, you guys, once more again. And once again, a happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to my wife. Thank you for being the mother to my child, to my baby girl. Love you, sweetheart. Daddy misses you. Daddy can't wait to see you again. And to everyone else, I will see everyone in the next video. Bye.